All right, here now is the great Larry Kudlow. Larry, you don't have enough TV time today. Big news, CPI 7.5%. You are the expert. So again, I care, and I know you care, about American families. So if you have unsecured debt, rates are going to rise, you're going to pay more. At the pump, you're paying more. At the grocery store, you're paying more. If you rent, you're paying more. If you buy a used car, you're paying more. What impact is this having on the American family?
By the way, the unsecured debt part, that's very interesting. Debtors are actually helped by high inflation because real interest rates are negative. That's the only part of the population that would be helped. Everybody else, middle-class families, blue-collar families, working folks get killed because inflation is rising faster than wages. Wages aren't pushing up prices. Prices are causing wages to try to catch up. And it's not about the pandemic, and it's not about supply shortages. It's because we have been spending way too much federal money, and because the Federal Reserve is buying all that deficit financing, and they are monetizing the debt. The Fed is creating money, and that is not stopping. They're still creating money. We are not even close to the peak. And today's number was worse than last month's, and that was worse than the month before. The trend line is up. And it's called hardship for everybody in this country, just about everybody. Not debtors necessarily, but working folks.
Well, so Larry, if you listen to the White House, they first said this was transitory, but now they're saying that this will start to subside by the end of this year. Is that your read as well?
No, I don't know what they're smoking. I don't understand that. Janet Yellen is, I guess, telling the president there's going to be 2% inflation by the end of the year. So I'm going to take the over on that, meaning it's going to be well over 2%. I don't know how you get there. We haven't stopped the money printing. In order to turn inflation around, you got to stop the money printing. And by the way, it takes 2 or 3 years to impact the actual inflation rate in the economy. We're nowhere near. That's the trouble with this whole story. And here's the thing, you know, the White House is saying we want an independent Fed, which is right. I agree. But they are appointing, you know, people with far-left radical agendas. I mean, Lisa Cook from Michigan State wants to use the black unemployment rate as a metric. She wants reparations for slavery. She thinks this is a genocidal country. Has nothing to do with inflation. Sarah Bloom Raskin, who's been on the Fed and in the Treasury, she's now pounding the drum that we have to cut off money to fossil fuels companies, right? Use the Fed to allocate credit away. So that's a great idea because that'll bring oil prices to $150 a barrel, and that will in turn cause inflation to go up even more than it has already. So the Fed's commitment to fighting inflation, these nominations are not going to be independent. They're all going off on their own little woke travel guide. And so I don't know how this is going to be resolved.
Wait, hold on a second, Larry. Are you saying that by spending more money, like $5 trillion in Build Back Better, borrowing more money, that's not going to help inflation like the White House is saying?
I never, you know, it's funny. I think he said it again today.
He did.
It's really fantastic. Here's the good news on all this is that the public is a lot smarter than you think. And they're onto it. And he's getting, you know, extremely low marks on inflation, on the economy, on his entire presidency. Look, inflation killed the presidencies of Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter. I think inflation is killing the presidency of Joe Biden. It wasn't a problem for 35 or 40 years. Reagan said to Volcker, way back when I was a child working in Reagan's OMB, he said to Volcker, you do what you have to do, pull back the money supply, let's vanquish inflation, boost the value of the dollar. And Reagan took the heat, and then Reagan cut taxes, and we had 3 decades of prosperity. So my point this evening is I don't see a Reagan, and I don't see a Volcker. What I do see is a White House in denial about the true facts, the true causes of the inflation, which are monetary, spending and money printing. And they're nominating people to the Federal Reserve who will make the problem worse, not better. They're not problem solvers. They're going to make the problem worse because they have their own, you know, social and climate agenda. Larry Summers said this. Good Democrat economist, gets it right sometimes. He said This is a generation of people worried about climate change and woke social policies. They don't care about inflation. He was exactly right. The spending of last winter was inflationary. The money printing that's continued all last year is inflationary. We're paying the piper for those mistakes.
Yeah, Larry, just quickly, you look at Reagan, he had a bad situation, and with Volcker made it better. Joe Biden had a great situation and now has made it worse. I got to go in a second, but I want to get your take. If the Fed is going to raise rates 5-6 times this year, historically, what does that do to the stock market? If I've saved a little bit, and I'm a family guy, what does it do for me?
I would say to you, stocks for the long run. Buy the index, own the S&P index. You own all the stocks in the index. Don't try to outguess it.
All right.
Interest rates are going up. There will be corrections, but stocks in the long run, you know why? The cavalry is coming. The cavalry is coming to fix this, and America's going to be great again.
You know, Larry, you were successful with Save America, Kill the Bill. I heard today, now you're at Save America, Kill Inflation.
Yes.
I love it, and I love your program. Thanks for staying late and joining me today. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.